Hey everybody, I want to take a moment to show you how you can actually take your open rocket design and create some of the parts to 3D print. So this is just kind of a rocket that was made from a previous template, and so I'm going to use the information from this rocket to create some parts. So I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Print Export, and you'll see this kind of tab or this window pop up and all these things are checked, and that's fine. I'm going to just do a preview and print so we just kind of can look at it here. And so here's my design, and what I'm really interested in is this page right here. And so here you can see that I've got a fin, and then I've got a rocket nose, and then I've also got some centering rings. So I'm going to show you how to actually make the fin here first. And so this is helpful if you want to laser cut some of your parts, like your fins. And so what we'll do is we'll kind of outline this fin in Fusion 360, and then we'll go ahead and make a drawing off of that. So grab the snipping tool. I'm going to try a snip here. You can do this a couple different ways, but I'm going to select this right here. Come on, man. Okay, and then I'm going to save it, and I'm just going to call this, I'm just use my name, and I'm going to just call it Rocket Fin. And then I think it works better if you do it as a JPEG instead of any other file, but it may work. I've had a lot of success with JPEG in this way. So I'm going to close this out. So now I'm going to open up Fusion 360, and I've already got it open here. So what I'm going to do now, and you may not be really super familiar with how to use Fusion 360 yet, but I'll kind of walk you through the basics here. So I need to start by making a sketch. So I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to pick a plane, doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to click this one right here. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my picture. So I'm going to click Insert, and I'm going to insert, I'm just going to click it like that. I'm going to insert from my computer, and then I'll probably have to hunt for it here a little bit. But I have this one right here, and it's the same thing. So I'm going to hit Open, and then I'm going to select this face right here, and you'll see that as I move this around that it moves the image, and I can actually make it a little bit larger and stuff like that. And so let's just say that it comes in like this. So I'm going to click OK. And what we have right here is the origin. You can see that as I kind of bring my cursor around, that little dot pops up there. So it wants to lock onto this intersection right here, which is helpful, and we'll kind of talk about why that's helpful here in a moment. But what I want to do is I actually want to calibrate this rocket fin to make sure that I can draw over this picture, because right now I can't really do anything with it other than just see it. So I want to actually pull a drawing file off of this shape, and so that's why it's important that I bring this shape in here first and then draw on top of it. So the first thing I need to do is I need to know how big one of these sides are in order to calibrate the drawing properly. So I'm going to go back to Open Rocket here, and if we look at our fin, and here you can see that we've got the root chord and the tip chord, and so I'm going to change this to 1.5 because that's what it was. And so the chord length is the distance from this edge here to here. So that's 1.5 inches. So I'm going to use that to help me calibrate my drawing. So I'm going to go back to Fusion 360. And so now if I go over to Canvases right here, and if I click on this little caret to open up this a little bit more, if I right click on it, I can actually go to Calibrate. Okay. And so I'm going to click on this image right here. I'm going to zoom in with my mouse wheel, and I'm going to click on the very corner here. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to pick my second corner here, and it gives me this little window that pops up. And so now it's highlighted in blue, which will allow me to change it to whatever dimension or whatever number I want to throw in there. So since I know that the chord length is 1.5 inches, I'm going to type in 1.5 and type in enter. And now you can see that it got a little bit larger. So just to kind of show you that this is accurate, if I go from this edge here to this edge here, it should be close to 1.5 inches. And so let me just kind of throw a dimension on there. And so you can see that I'm pretty close to 1.5 inches, just because I didn't probably click everything perfectly, but it does work. Okay, so I'm going to undo some of this here and get back to my first state here. Okay, so now what I want to do is maybe I want to have it so that this corner right here lines up with my origin. So if I go over to canvases and right click on it, I can go to edit canvas, and now what this does is this allows me to move it however I want. I can either move it, horizontally or vertically, or I can just do a random kind of move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this corner on my origin as best I can, just kind of by eye here. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close. Okay, and then I can hit OK, and now I have it lined up where I want. So I'm going to delete this line right here. So now if I use my line tool, I can go ahead and I can snap on my origin, and I can just kind of trace the shape around until I get back to my origin. And now I have that shape drawn on there. Right click OK, and now what I can do is if I go back to my canvases page, you'll see that I've got a eyeball here. If I click on that, it'll actually hide my drawing. So here I can toggle it back and forth. I can kind of see how it disappears and reappears as I click on that. So just doing this to kind of double check or making sure that this works the way that I want it to. So now I'm going to go to finish sketch. I can extrude this out if I want. So basically extruding it out means that I can add some thickness to this. And so I'm just going to extrude out just a little bit. It doesn't really matter how much we extrude it out. I just have enough here to give it some thickness, so click OK. And now you can see that as I kind of rotate this around, it kind of looks like something. Looks like a real shape at least. Okay, so I'm going to click on the home button to kind of get it so that I can see it. All right, so now I've got my fin. So now what do I do next? I want to actually use this as a file that I can throw in to the program that would be used to actually cut this on a laser cutter. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to, well, first what I need to do is I need to save it. So I'm going to save this Kraepelin rocket fin, and I'm going to click save. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this as a DWG file. So here it has the file name. And if I click on the caret and I look for a DWG file and click export, and it's going to put it on the desktop, which is fine. And this little kind of status bar will fill in blue here. Sometimes it takes a little while, but nonetheless, it'll take a little bit of time. It's not instantaneous like some other applications, but this will turn blue, and then I can take that file and throw it into the program that I need to actually create my rocket fin. So then it'll create that vector path that it needs to cut it out on the laser. Okay, that does it for this video. The next video will be on how to actually make a nose cone. All right, see you later.